What's going on, New Canoe Nation? Woo! Hope you guys like that new intro. Trying something new. You know, I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, we need a way to spotlight some of our new canoe fans or new canoe enthusiasts. So, you know, as the season's kicking off for some of you guys and gals and you're getting out on the water, make sure you're posting those photos, hashtagging new canoe. And I'm going to once a month go back, redo that intro so your photo could end up on there. Just hashtag new canoe. That's what I did. I went, searched hashtag new canoe, found all those great photos. I think it's a cool thing to spotlight all the folks in our boats. My brother from another mother, Mr. JD DeRosier in the house. What up, B? What's up, my man? I hope you're well. Hope the family's good. Man, first, before we get the show started, we got Blaine Upton in the house. We're going to be talking about the Bassmaster Classic. He was down there doing some things with New Canoe and meeting all kinds of fancy people in elevators and stuff, I heard before we got started. But huge shout out to all you folks, man. It's completely incredible what everybody's done to help support our friend River Wolf. The amount of raffle tickets that were bought through Westbrook's sweepstakes, I believe it has to be called, was pretty incredible. River Wolf has moved over to Duke. He's doing some things to get better while he waits a double lung transplant. So thank you everybody that donated, positive thoughts, prayers. Thank you so much. We can't thank you guys enough. So just wanted to say that before we got started. Let's get the man of the hour, return guest, Mr. Blaine Upton. Welcome, sir.
What is up, guys?
Good to see you, man. I know we tried to connect in Florida, but I kind of bombed and went home early, so that didn't happen. But
dude, you are not the only one. That tournament was absolutely brutal. I bombed both days, and man, I go down in that area of Florida a lot, so it was a good old humbling experience for me. That's what fishing tends to do. It humbles people. So
yeah, no, that's for sure, man. I had a blast just fishing open water. Like I think it was like the weekend before I left. I was ice fishing on 12 inches of ice and then fishing open water a week later. It was crazy, but
yeah,
definitely a time, man. Definitely a time. Preston Zimmerman in the chat says, "What's up? What's up, Preston? Thanks for being here." But man, let's catch up, dude. You had quite the unique experience down at ICAT, or I keep saying ICAST, at the Bassmaster Classic. It's real similar, right? Like,
well, yeah. So we were at the Bassmaster Classic Expo. So the Classic weigh-in was at Bon Secours Wellness Arena. It was probably 6 minutes from the other facility that held the Expo. The Expo, like, companies get booths and show off new products, and it is kind of similar to ICAST in that nature, but you get to see everything from the fishing industry just laid out. Not even the fishing industry, just outdoors and any accessories you could need for anything. So it was really cool to go in there and see everybody's stuff and see how it was all laid out. There was so much money on the floor in there, and motors and all kinds of different stuff, because I'm a motor guy. I spent a few years as a Yamaha technician. So
no, it's super cool. I know it all. The expo itself usually gets compared to ICAST, whereas like the expo is more for the end consumer. ICAST is more for the retailer, manufacturer side of things. So it's kind of cool, man. It's something I've always wanted to do. So I was a little jealous when I saw you posting photos, and I'm like, this would be cool to talk about, because I know there's been a lot of talk in the past couple of years how big kayak fishing has become part of ICAST. So like, wanted to get your thoughts on that. Like, how much kayak stuff did you see there? It seemed like there was a lot of interest. I saw a lot of posts and videos and stuff of kayak related content coming from the actual expo, man, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of companies that had booths. I saw a Hobie booth there. I saw an Old Town booth there. Bonafide Native had a booth there. And, you got to see everybody's rigs, and everybody kind of went all out and put a ton of money into putting some rigs on the floor. And New Canoe had their rig in the Lowrance Motor Guide booth, and we rigged a brand new Canoe Unlimited in the Patrol Blue color. We rigged it with a brand new Lowrance. What was it? It was a Elite FS7, and we also put the Motor Guide XI3 on it. Rely on battery. It was a really cool rig, and not to mention every Yak Attack product I think that they make was on that boat. I mean, Zuka tubes, Black Pack, you name it, it was on there. Boondocks landing gear, just everybody partnered up, and we rigged it up in my little shop that I have, and we were able to create quite a masterpiece for the booth. It was pretty cool.
That's sweet, man. For the folks that were coming through the booth, looking at the boat and how it was rigged up, like, what was the perception from folks that may not be familiar with kayak fishing?
Oh yeah, I mean, man, you got the old timer that would come up and ask what it even was, and you'd have people that came up and knew about every part on the boat. You just had the full broad spectrum, and there were so many people. They're giving it away. New Canoe was going to give it away at they're giving away that package. So there were 1,100 scans, I think, on the QR code just in the giveaway, not to mention how many people laid eyes on it and didn't, fully come over there and check it out. But it was, a lot of people looked at it and were like, wow, you can put all that on a kayak? And it's like, yeah, man, like, it's come a long way. And I'm sure walking around, they were able to see that, because there was a ton of people representing the kayak world there. And it was just so refreshing. You know what I mean? It was just so good to see it for the community that we have.
Yeah, I mean, especially now with BASS being a part of, the kayak world with their kayak series. Obviously, they had and I keep forgetting what they call it. It's like the Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship. It's not like classic or whatever, but pretty cool, man. Shout out to Eric Siddiqui. Congratulations to him on his W on that, man. A good guy. He's been laying low for a little bit, it seems like, and now he's just coming back with a bang, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, man, congrats to him. He fished one heck of a tournament, and I've fished that lake quite a few times, and I live probably 2 hours from it. And it can be a really tough place, man. They were able to put it together and put some bags together, and to see a kayaker walk across the classic stage is super cool.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's great. It seems like every year Bass is getting a little better with the kayak side, man, and it's very cool to see where the sport has come. Like, I've had quite a few conversations recently about, and especially with some of the guys that have been around the kayak fishing world for a while, to see how far that our little sport has come, I think I was joking around with Matt Gibson, we're just a bunch of guys fishing out of Tupperware, at the end of the day, but it's cool now, man. Like you said, you guys rigged out that boat to the nines, XI3, Lowrance, FS7, like Boondocks landing gear, all the Yak Attack accessories, man. It's super cool. Whereas, rewind 10 years ago, guys were going to the hardware store and, cold welding PVC pipes for rod holders and, taping up flashlights on poles on their kayaks and stuff. Dude, it's pretty incredible to see what the growth has become, man. So
yeah, it's amazing to see what you've been able to put into a rig anymore. I mean, between Yak power lights and all the trolling motors and torpedoes and accessories that you can get into, it's just become something that you can really spend a lot of money on, or you don't have to spend a lot of money on. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
it still can be that entry level thing if you want it to, or you can build it to be whatever you want it to.
absolutely. Well, it's that thing I was giving a guy down at the Indiana Boat Show 2 weekends ago a hard time. He's like, man, all that money you got into that rig, you know, like, why didn't you just buy a bass boat? And I'm like, I saved myself $95,000. You know, like bass boats are so ridiculous nowadays. You almost got to take out 3 mortgages on your home to get one. But and I go, not only that, but I can go catch all the fish that you can't get to, you know. And he's like, touche, you win, and
Yep,
walked away.
no doubt.
But no, it's super cool, man. It's like I said, it's something that I've always wanted to be a part of. Was the you know, Bassmaster Expo. So that's something on my bucket list, man. So give us some highlights, man. What were you most impressed with? I know you got some stories. You were sharing elevators with like big wigs and,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
stuff like that.
So yeah, we parked at the hotel, and I get in there, and I hear hold the door, and Clay Dyer, he comes in there, and I got to talk to him on the elevator a little bit, and I was like, Mr. Dyer, I was like, I waited a long time to meet you, and he looks at me and he goes, well, that's just sad. And I just started dying laughing. If you don't know anything about Clay Dyer was born with a genetic deficiency. He doesn't have He's got half of one arm and pretty much no other appendages, and still manages to get out there and bass fish. So he's kind of an inspirational story, and for him to say that, it just cracked me up.
That's
And
awesome.
not to mention at the expo, you know, Bill Dance was there, Hank Parker was there. You know, basically every Bassmaster legend that wasn't on the water was walking around at the expo. I worked the Lowrance booth. Ish Monroe was in the Lowrance booth with us for a little while, and you know, we were sitting there with our kayak, and he comes over and was taking a look at it, and I got to explain it to him and show him all the cool features, and he was like, man, that's really cool. I was like, yeah. I was like, you need to get yourself in one. And anyways, Kim Stricker came over there. He's Hook and Look, if you've never seen that show. But man, just legends of the industry just walking around, and it's just super cool to see them in their element and get to meet them and see what they're about.
So when you're talking to Ish Monroe, were you like, dude, you can get back to some lily pads that you can't get to in your boat with this thing and get that frog
That's
bite
it.
you're always looking for?
You got to sell it. You got to sell
I mean, are
it.
you giving Ish Monroe personal advice and fishing advice, or what? How did that go down?
Oh man, trust me, I wasn't giving him any advice. He was too busy signing autographs and kissing babies and whatnot. You know, celebrity
You
stuff.
what do you mean you weren't doing that? People don't know
No,
who you are?
not yet. They're going to though. I'm gonna walk across that stage one day. I'm telling you here.
There you go. I like it, man. I like it. I like it. So what else unique about the expo, man? If somebody has never been to the Bassmaster Classic Expo, like what is something they should absolutely do? Look out for things like that, man.
Man, it's cool to go and meet people that are actually from the companies that you know purchase things from, and you get to put a face with the name. That's kind of the part that's cool about it for me. I mean, Fluke Master standing there in the Bonafide booth. I mean, you've got people that are just coming out and talking to you because they are just regular people at the end of the day. I mean, that's one of the cooler things about the expo. Could I highlight one thing about it that's cooler than the rest? Not necessarily, other than seeing, you know, all these high dollar rigs on the floor and getting to go up close and look, you know, at all the new stuff that they're coming out with. And I mean, yeah, man, if there's one thing you can do, you've got to just, I mean, go out there and see what you're into. That's it.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. How, like, size wise, you walk through the expo in a day, or you need 2 days to get through it?
No, you can walk through the expo in a day. It's I don't even know how many square feet that place is, but I'll tell you, every square inch of it was taken up by a booth. Brand new trucks, brand new boats. I mean, all over the place. It's just like a showroom of,
Nice.
you know, products and stuff that we drool over in our day-to-day lives.
What was one thing you were most impressed with, or one thing that you were like, I need that in my arsenal?
Hold on. You got to give me a minute with that one. You hit me sideways with that one.
You know me, dude. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah. So Honestly, they had the Lowrance. I do have a bass boat, so obviously I'm a little bit on the dark side, but they had the Lowrance Tour Pro set up in a tank with Motor Guide Tour Pro with the Lowrance active target set up in a test tank. And I got to play around with that a little bit. And man, for those that haven't fished with live scope, they think some people say it's cheating. Man, that is some insane technology, and I'm definitely saving. I'm already saving.
Yeah, I've heard some pretty good things about the active target. In the it's live view, right? It's not live scope. It's like live
It's
view.
active target is what they call it, and I
Okay,
mean,
all right.
well, on the low rant side at least.
Okay, active target. I'm thinking of the 3-in-1 transducer that they offer.
Hmm.
Um, I know a good friend of mine, Brad Hurlboss. He's setting that up on his kayak currently, and he's like, dude, and not only that, but like one thing I didn't know about Lowrance units that he actually told me about. Because I run a Garmin currently, and I said, one of the biggest features I use is remapping lakes, especially like a new lake I've never been. If I go out, I hit that remapping or record feature to remap, lakes on all the spots I've gone over, and I'll go back and review some of that stuff. And I've found little nooks and crannies here and there where I'm like, oh, I need to go back and hit this, this, and this. And he was telling me they got a feature on the Lowrance where you could map out lake temperatures, like water temperatures.
Wow, man, I didn't honestly, with how busy it was, I didn't really have a chance to sit down and play with a whole lot of stuff. Honestly, you need to go if you have a chance to go work it, you need to go work it because you get to meet everybody in their element. If you have a chance to go as a consumer, you need to go as a consumer because you get the chance to actually go out and touch these products and put your hands on them, see what they do, see what the capabilities are, see it for yourself before you buy. And that's not always an option.
Sure. Yeah, no, I thought that it's pretty cool what Lowrance has done. And obviously, when you look across the board, like Lowrance, Humminbird, Garmin, Ray Marine, like they're all competing for that new edge, and obviously that's caused an uproar in the fishing community as far as like this live scope and active target and all that goes. Like, is it cheating? And it's like you can lead a horse to water, but he ain't gonna drink. It doesn't mean he's gonna drink. You can find the fish and you can look at him on a screen all day. You still got to catch him.
And that's
Um,
it. I know people that have used this technology before, man, gone out for a day, find a school of fish, and spend all day messing with a group of fish that's just not going to bite instead of going places they knew they could catch them. So
Absolutely.
you know, there's two sides.
No, I completely agree with that, man, and it's pretty incredible. Again, like talking about the advancements in kayak fishing. I mean, look at the advancements in fishing. Before it used to be a flasher. You could tell how
Oh,
deep you
yeah.
were, and that was it.
Yep.
And now you're actually watching fish swim around on a little screen. It's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, just think about where it's gonna go, man. That's where I'm at. Everybody wants to say it's cheating now, but just where's it gonna end up?
Like I say, man, I want to get the automatic fish catcher so I could just sit back and have something like sling, fish into my boat. Um Buzz Byerline is asking, did you buy a big glide bait?
No, I didn't buy a big glide bait. They had some. I didn't even realize. Never really been a glide bait kind of guy, but dude, those things are so expensive. I had no idea. I walk up and I'm like, "How much is this thing?" I was like, "Is there a decimal missing in there somewhere?"
Oh, I got a good friend of mine. He's down on Table Rock Lake, Richie Lockery, dude, and he's like the king of like huge swim baits. He'll throw these like 9, 10, 12-inch swim baits. And I remember the one time I was down there to fish a KBF event, and he handed me a 3,700 box full of big swim baits like that. And he's like, yeah, that's probably like $3,000 in that one box, and I'm like, dude, you're out of
Yeah.
your mind. You're
Yeah,
out of your mind.
exactly, dude. I'm not tying something like that. I know I don't trust myself. I really don't. I know I'm gonna get that thing stuck somewhere.
Preston Zimmerman is in the chat. Said he caught his PB 6-pound 9-ounce last week out of his Flint. Congrats, my friend. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
congrats, man.
That's awesome. No, it's like I know some of those Indiana boys, man. They throw some of those big, expensive glide baits in rivers, and I'm like, you guys are out of your mind. There's got to be all kinds of brush and stuff in there, and I mean, I'd cry if I lost 100. Like, I cry when I lose a jackhammer chatterbait, and that's what, 16, $18, depending on where you
Yeah,
get it. Like,
yeah,
I couldn't imagine losing $100 glide bait. At that point, like,
that's it.
you're throwing a reel or a rod in the water almost, I mean, I'm not fishing fancy JDM stuff, folks, but like, it's just crazy.
JD.
Yeah. My man Andy Knott is in the chat, and he's one of the guys I'm referring to, man. He catches giant smallmouth on these huge glide baits, and I'm like, dude, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But
Yeah, I can't fathom. I mean, I'll tie on an Alabama rig and feel bad about that, or bad enough. Tungsten is as expensive as it is, much less $100 glide bait.
right.
I would throw it on 65-pound braid or nothing, and I would have someone else tie my knot. Can you get insurance? Like knot insurance?
Yeah. Can I get insurance on my baits?
Yeah. I've got a $5,000 loss this year due to this one tree.
I could see that conversation with the insurance guy going real well. Yeah, is this Jake from State Farm? Yeah. That's cool. So bait wise, we're talking about baits, man. Like, any new interesting baits you saw at the expo there?
Dude, I can't remember the exact name of it, but I think they call it the Berkeley Gilly, the new
Oh
swim
yeah,
bait that
the
they've
little
got.
swim
Dude,
bait. Yeah.
made me think about you immediately. It made me die laughing. I was like, man, catching gillies out there. But anyways, they had every one of them in a display case, and you got to see all the colors and how much detail went into them. That was pretty cool. The Strike King booth, they had all kinds of cool, new colors in their jigs and stuff like that, and they had them all laid out in display cases so you could go and glance and see what color patterns they were using. Think between Lew's, there were all kind of companies there, rod companies there doing BOGO deals so everybody at the expo is pretty much carrying around 2 rods with them. I mean, there are guys with 5-gallon buckets full of stuff, and I'm like, dude, you just easily spent $2,000 like that. How?
Yeah,
I wish I had money like that.
So sometimes that's what people do, is they go to the shows. I mean, I see it in the fishing shows around here, guys plan on going and stocking up for the year, and they save up money, and they figure they'll get a bargain deal at the shows, and they'll just
Yeah.
stock up and walk out with bags or 5-gallon buckets worth of baits, But
yeah, no doubt. There were some guys, walking around with 2 5-gallon buckets, strollers full of stuff. I was like, man, you got it good.
Oh man, I mean, it is what it is, but super cool, man. Anything like else expo wise you want to touch on, man? Like, that somebody might want to know about, that maybe I believe next year it's in Knoxville, correct?
Yeah, I think it is. It's up there in Tennessee, which I might make my way up there for that one too. It's just something you've got to experience as a fisherman. If you know a fisherman or love a fisherman, you need to go with them, because there's stuff to do for people of all ages. I think 110,000 people walked through this thing last weekend. So it's something you, like I said, have to experience as a fisherman. All your fishing legends are there. You can go meet anybody that you've ever wanted to. You can see new products, see what's going on in the fishing world, and it's something you've got to do.
That's cool. That's super cool. So I'm gonna flip another one on you, and I'm gonna make your head hurt, because you're gonna have to think quite a bit on this one. So I always ask Frontier 12 rigged up tandem. You can go with anybody dead or alive, but I'm gonna flip it You got a Frontier 12. It's rigged up tandem. You could go with one person fishing for a day out of any of the people you saw at the expo this past weekend. Who's it going to be?
Oh man, that's really tough. Man, I'm back and forth between two. Give me just a second.
Lay them both on us.
So, I mean, dude, it's either gonna be Hank Parker or Bill Dance. I mean,
Okay.
I think it's gonna be Hank Parker, and Hank Parker's actually realistic for me. He doesn't live too far from here, but I mean, such a laid back. Actually, you know what? I'm going back. Scratch all that. I want to go on the water with Blake Young. I got to spend time with Blake.
Oh,
Dude, listen, I got to spend time with Blake this weekend or last weekend. And I mean, such a laid back dude. I got to spend time with him and his son Swain. Both of them are, I mean, just amazing people, and getting to hang out and Swain getting to play with all the products and being around all that stuff. I mean, I just want to, hang out with Blake out in his element, I guess, what he's going to, what he sells. I think that would be really cool. And I think he and I get along pretty well. And I think that would be a good time.
right on. I like that answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blake, Mr. New Canoe himself, man. Amazing dude. Very, very humble. And just an awesome all around person.
That's one thing that sometimes will bring people to a brand, is having someone who owns it that is, actually cares about their product and is really big on what they do. I mean, man, the way he went over the boat even after we had rigged it to a T, and I mean, he was just inspecting everything, taking calls, trying to solve issues while he was there. It was just, I mean, he's nonstop, man. We have one heck of an owner of the company, and he's one heck of a guy.
Like it. Boom. Blaine scoring brownie points. James O'Neill said, I wanted to do this weekend in Greenville. I'm in Charlotte, and the wife said no. Man, James.
That's when you go fine. We'll go out and get coffee. Dude, lock the doors. Keep rolling.
James, next time she tells you no, have her call me. I'll straighten this out, buddy. He said
I
Blake
recommend
sold
you
him.
don't do that.
Yeah. She might let you go, but when you come back, locks might be changed. I'm just saying. No, it's super cool, man, and I think that's one unique part of New Canoe is it's a small family type atmosphere business, which is super cool, and what makes New Canoe so unique. And like you said, man, Blake's always on his feet, just go, and making sure everything is up to everybody's standards, including his own. And he holds everything at a very high standard. I mean, the podcasts that I've done with him on here, the personal interactions I've had with him outside of the podcast as well, that's always his number one goal, which is super awesome. So
yeah,
I like that.
And I mean,
answer.
he was at the booth with us. I mean, going back and forth. We had a boat in the Mossy Oak booth, and we had a boat in the Motor Guide Lowrance booth.
Yeah.
So he was back and forth talking to people, just that would come up and ask about the boats. And it's like, man, they don't even know they're talking with the guy that owns the company. And he was just down to earth, knew his stuff. And I mean, it was just super cool.
Absolutely. Good old Buzz Byerline in the house. He says, great to meet you there, Blaine. Great setup on the Unlimited.
Yeah, man. Buzz worked the booth the day after I left. I got to hang out with him for just a few minutes, and Lance Berry was there too. Not to mention Stuart Venable himself worked the booth with us.
Guy?
I don't know.
He's an honorable mention.
Yeah, and I mean, I got everybody out of their element, just hanging out, being them, and it was super cool.
No, I completely agree with that, man. Obviously you guys were there, to represent New Canoe and, have the business side of things, but it's also good to, see everybody when they're out of that business element too, and just kick back, relax, and enjoy it and have a good time for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. Well, man, we're winding down. What's next for you? What do you got coming up? I know you're fishing some tournaments this year. Like, what are you looking forward to coming up for the rest of 2022, man?
Yeah, I'm running Palmetto State Kayak Bass Fishing, help and run. We've got on an app for the first time this year, so that's taken some learning, and we're running that pretty cleanly. We had our first tournament concurrent with the KBF Murray event, which
Okay.
30th in the KBF Murray event. That's
Yeah,
not
you did
terrible,
good,
not
man.
terrible. But anyways, so we had 60 anglers or 61 anglers come out for our event, which that shattered our our previous by about 20 people. So that was the biggest turnout we've ever had. That was cool. I'm fishing some bass boat stuff this year occasionally where I can, but preparing for kid number 2. So,
Oh man,
oh
congrats.
yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We don't know if it's boy or girl yet, but whenever we find out, we've got a lot to do. So, gonna have to kind of step back on the fishing a little bit and get ready for that.
You've been busy, bro.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a lot going on.
Well, congratulations on that, man. So, if anybody's in your area, South Carolina, right?
Yep.
Where can they find out about Palmetto State Kayak Anglers if they wanted to come out, fish an event, like things like that?
Man, y'all can always go out and check out our Facebook page. It's Palmetto State Kayak Bass Fishing, KBF Affiliate Club. You can find us there. You can find us on Fishing Chaos. That is the platform we are on. And yeah, as long as we've got a $10 one-time membership. So if you wanted to come out and fish a tournament with us, we're a nonprofit, and here in the state of South Carolina, you must be a paid member to fish with us. But if anybody wants to come out, it keeps entry still under $50 with that $10 one time, and able to come out, and it's $500 guaranteed first place. So it's either going to be $500 or more. I think that's worth it. And we have some great guys that come out and fish, and I think we're doing meetups for the rest of the events this year. And our guys always love seeing new faces. So
Nice, 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 nice. I'm pulling the link to your guys' group page, and I will drop that down in the chat for you guys. My man James O'Neill in the chat says, "Congrats on No More Sleep Again," referring
hey,
to the new one on the way.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It wasn't too bad the first time. Too bad.
Oh,
But
that means it's going to be worse this time, bro.
well, don't say that. That's what everybody keeps saying. Shh, zip it.
Oh man, too funny, too funny. Well, I appreciate you, man, jumping on with us tonight. Where could folks go follow you personally, like Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff?
Man, I'm on Instagram, Blaine Upton Fishing. I'm on TikTok, Blaine Upton Fishing, Facebook, Blaine Upton Fishing, and yeah, so that's pretty much where you can find me. I also, if anybody ever is interested in the rigging stuff, I do it professionally. And so if you ever want to check any of that out, it's Southern Waters Marine Solutions. We do EVA foam flooring, a lot of boat stuff and kayak stuff. So if anybody's ever looking for anything like that, I'm always here for that too.
And what town are you based out of for that?
I'm out of Chapin, South Carolina, basically Columbia area.
Okay, okay. I'm pulling up that link as well, so that way you guys can find that if you're interested or looking for somebody to rig up your new canoe. Blaine can actually help you out on that. And then you actually did all the rigging for the boat that was at the show, correct? In the Lawrence booth?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I did installed the XI3, installed the graph, ran everything, made it look really clean. Did the brand new transducer retract system from New Canoe. That was pretty cool to see in function, and yeah, rigged it all up. And like I said, a ton of people saw that boat, so that was a big deal for me. I was really excited about it. You
Heck
find
yeah, man.
yourself over analyzing everything you're doing. You're like, on just
Sure.
little minute stuff that doesn't matter, and at the end of the day wouldn't have mattered, but
Right on.
perfectionist.
Hey, man, you got to be when you're in that kind of business, you know.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, super cool, man. I dig it. I appreciate you again taking time away from the family tonight to jump on, talk a little Bassmaster Classic Expo and what you got to experience there and what folks can expect to experience if they visit it next year, man. So it's super cool. So appreciate you. Everybody tuning in. Thank you so much. We're here every Tuesday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock out on the West Coast. Don't forget to share those photos, hashtag New Canoe on Instagram or Facebook. Like I said, I'm going to redo that intro once a month with all new, fresh photos. So I'm going to lead us out with that. Till next time, boys and girls, tight lines, smooth paddle. Peace.